Hello everyone! The clip you're about to hear is from one of our exclusive Patreon episodes on a recent horror release, and just like all of our other episodes, it might include major spoilers for said horror release, so don't listen to it if you haven't already seen it. You've officially been warned. And if you'd like to hear the full episode, just head on over to patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip. We didn't cover this last year because, of course, it came out in the busy month of October, and I missed it. And Joe did see it and liked it less and less with each passing day. So we were like, whatever,
Yeah, I didn't think that it was going to be one of those films that a lot of people focused on, and particularly with the box office when it finally did come out, like, this film is a big old bomb. So I thought, okay, well, I didn't really love it. You didn't have strong opinions, so we thought that we were safe to leave it on the shelf. And then all of a sudden at the end of the year, a bunch of people were like, I'd really like you to cover this. So, wish granted.
Well, and I know why they want us to cover this, because there is, I'm going to say, some muddled messaging in the, I was going to say in the end of the film, but really the film as a whole when you take that ending into account. So I do think there's no shortage of things to discuss here. But again, if you haven't seen the film, we will be delving into spoilers and light content warning for sexual assault.
Yeah, it's murky,
right?
We'll put it that way. Yeah, because it definitely is sexual assault, but it's also presented in a less confronting manner than we're used to, or at least that we've been talking about this entire fucking month. Like, what is it with January?
I don't know. But no, I mean, again, I basically have some thoughts written out where I was trying to parse through my thoughts about this movie, because I'm going to be coming out on the pro side to your con side.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, how can I say that I'm okay with a lot of this without sounding like an asshole? So I definitely have some. So not like an asshole, like mean to you, but like an anti-woman, like female-hating person.
No. And here's the thing. Okay, so listeners, peek behind the curtain. Trace and I have had a number of conversations about, why do I not like this film? Why does he like this film? And, how we should approach this episode. Because it's been a while, Trace. I don't know if you've realized this. It's been a while since we've had a film that we really don't agree on.
Right.
We're not going to yell at each other or anything in this episode, but I think that you think more people feel the way I feel, and I think more people feel the way you feel. Where
that's so interesting.
Yeah, no, I think this film has a lot of fans. I saw a ton of people talking about how it was one of their favorite films of the year. When I said that I was rewatching it, I did get a bunch of people being like, no, you won't like it more on the second watch. But I had, former guest 10 Backy, they were definitely like, oh, that was my favorite film of last year. So to like the film doesn't mean that you're a misogynist or that you like violence against women or something.
No. Well, but it's a thing where it's, I mean, again, we'll talk about how the film portrays, rape and rape trauma and what happens to rape survivors, as well as things like that. But and in doing research, and the research I was doing today, and by today I mean the past 2 hours, I was just Googling. I was like, last night in Soho, rape, and just see what comes up.
Search history ruined.
Well, no, and granted, there were a couple of ideas specifically about how the film portrays and demonizes sex workers, and that I hadn't considered prior to watching. And so it's not people are going to think I'm anti-woman, but it's more like, how am I going to say that some of this stuff doesn't bother me and not come across like a pompous ass,
Yeah, and it's a tricky film for that, right? Because in so many ways, I think that's actually one of the areas that I struggle with the most about this film is I really like the first act of this film and Edgar Wright's breezy, very visually driven aesthetic. And then when it starts to get into more challenging material, shall we say, I think that's when the film really goes off the rails. And it's tricky because in some ways the whole film is really leading up to the twist reveal, the truth about Sandy.
Right.
It's not like it's coming out of nowhere. It just often feels like the film isn't exactly sure how best to go about the message, or maybe even what the message is.
Atlas Avenue. A long stretch of road that encompasses everything the city of Kennett Heights has to offer. Neon lights, traffic, crime, the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and the craziest of characters. My office was above it all. My name is James Locke, and I'm a PI.
Hello, Mr. J. How the hell you doing today?
Good, Edith. Nearly every year I have a new case. New people to meet, new clues to discover, and new problems to solve. But I do it the old-fashioned way. No technology. Nothing post-1950. Hell, I don't even listen to podcasts, but you should. Atlas Avenue Beat is a spoof of the film noir genre with goofy characters, tons of wordplay, and non-stop raunchy humor. There's also 3 whole seasons out right now with more on the way. Just search for Atlas Avenue Beat wherever you listen to podcasts or visit us online at bloody.fm.
Hello, I'm Shelby Scott, the host of Scare You to Sleep, a podcast where I tell you spooky bedtime stories full of creepy sound effects and music that is soothing yet unsettling to help immerse you into a world of horror. This is a show for those of us who have realized horror can be a strange but relaxing escape from reality. Speaking of escapes, sometimes I lead you through guided nightmares, like a guided meditation, but instead of flowery meadows, I take you on a journey through your own personal nightmare. So come get lost in the terror with me. Listen to Scare You to Sleep wherever you listen to podcasts, or find us online at bloody.fm. Sweet screams.